Penny stocks seem to be getting a huge amount of hype on YouTube recently, but you've got to be so careful when investing in them. I'm going to take a look at the next one that's been getting quite a lot of hype in the biopharmaceutical industry. We're going to look at some price targets from some analysts. We're going to look at some fundamentals about the company, and I'm going to let you know whether I'm going to be investing. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you are new here, make sure you head down and subscribe before you do anything else to receive all the new content I'll be putting out there, anything stock market related. I'm mostly a dividend investor myself and have a pretty reasonable sized dividend portfolio, but I've been focusing a little bit more on some penny stocks recently. I have a high risk, high growth, speculative portfolio in my Trading 212 account, and we're going to be adding some money into that each month over the course of the year to see if we can beat the market. As it stands, it's about 22% up, I think, and it's only been running around a month or so it's looking pretty good at the moment. I've got some penny stocks in there. I've got some stocks that are in the genomics space, the EV space, healthcare space, and the tech space. So we're looking for those real growth plays. Now, this stock I'm going to talk about is something that's been getting a bit of hype on YouTube recently. I thought I would cover it, have a little look at it, and just look at some analyst price targets. That's sort of the main thing, really, is looking at the price targets that these analysts are putting on it and whether I think that the company's got a good future in it, it could grow. And I'll tell you at the very end whether I'm going to be buying into it or my plan with this particular stock. So without further ado, we'll go into exactly who it is. It's a ticker symbol ATOS, and the company's name is Atossa. I think that's how you pronounce it. Atossa Therapeutics. Easiest way, as always with this, is getting into the computer and doing it on there, so we can have a look at some articles. We can look at Yahoo Finance, the price predictions on it from the analyst itself, have a look at the website, and a little bit more about the company. We'll get straight into the computer. So I'm starting on just the Atossa Therapeutics website. I normally start in the portfolio, but I've not bought into this yet, so that would be completely irrelevant. We don't need to start in that. We can start just on the website and have a little look into it. So we've just got the front page here. So Atossa Therapeutics, it's a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company seeking to discover and develop innovative medicines in areas of significant unmet medical need. Atossa's current focus is on breast cancer and our latest enemy. We believe our innovative therapies and delivery methods can benefit our latest enemy, patients, and transform breast cancer treatment, which is fantastic. So I think breast cancer is the second largest. So if you read on here, we've got breast cancer, 40,000 die each year. The American Cancer Association estimates that approximately 270,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States this year. It is the second leading cause of cancer death in American women. So they're fighting some two pretty big cases here. They're in the biopharmaceutical space, which is growing and becoming incredibly innovative and necessary at the moment, certainly with everything going on, absolutely necessary. So if we have a look at the two programs they've got, we've got the HOPE program. The goal of the HOPE program is to develop therapy to improve lung function and reduce the amount of time that patients are on ventilators. The program uses a novel combination of two drugs that have been previously approved by the FDA for other diseases. That's the guys on ventilators. Then we've got this one here, the nasal spray, AT301. AT301 is Atossa's proprietary formula intended for nasal administration in patients immediately following diagnosis of, but who have not yet exhibited symptoms severe enough to require hospitalization. So we're meeting this disease in two ways, and these guys are battling it in two ways. Patients that aren't sick enough to be hospitalized yet, which is great because then that's saving space in hospitals and hospital beds, and hopefully will allow them to treat it in a way that then won't need to be hospitalized, and they're treating it for people that are a bit more severe, with a few more severe cases, and are having to be on ventilators. So one of the pages on their website here, development pipeline, gives you where they are in this fight, in these two medicines and the applications. So the nasal spray, that's the product, preclinical and phase 1 symptom reducing nasal spray. We've then got phase 2, phase 3, NDA, MAA, target, and commercial. So when it gets to commercial use. So we're at the early stages at the moment, and we've got the HOPE program, which is for the people that are a bit more severely unwell and they're on ventilators, and they're at phase 2 already, improving lung function on ventilators. So the other space they're in is revolutionizing breast health. I won't read this whole thing to you, but essentially it's dedicated to the millions of women, men, and families who have been devastated by breast cancer and other serious breast health conditions. At the heart, so this is interesting, we've got women and men. So a lot of people aren't aware that men can also get breast cancer. So if we read on here, we're transforming the breast cancer paradigm by developing the promise of endoxifen, if that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, and exploiting its potential to both help prevent as well as to treat breast cancer with our proprietary topical and oral endoxifen. So they've got a drug, they've got a medicine out there that's helping to prevent and to treat breast cancer and just breast health issues as a whole in men and women. So again, these guys are working in a space, in an industry that, you know, I do not know a huge amount about, so I'm not going to pretend to know much about this, but they're in obviously some two very, very vast medical fields, i.e. breast cancer and cancer as a whole, as well as the most recent silent killer that we're all battling. So they're in a good space to continue, and in terms of, for us as investors, they're in a good space for growth, certainly. So we've been through just a little bit about the company. I'll just get up the two websites I'm on. We've got TipRanks that has got ATOS as a moderate buy at the moment, and they've got a price target of $5. We're currently at $1.87, and TipRanks, according to one analyst looking at it, has got a price target of $5. So we've got an analyst racing certainly in over the next year, which is where I am keeping my portfolio. It's going to be a year-long portfolio, at least as a minimum. We can get up to a good return there and up to the $5 mark, which would be lovely as a price target. They're in the right space to do it. I've got three websites to look at as price targets from analysts. So we've got pennystocks.com here. As I said, it's at 187 at the moment, and we've got a strong buy as a recommendation. We've got two analysts both coming in at moderate buy and strong buy. Holding a strong buy on pennystocks.com, and actually on Yahoo, if we scroll down, it's currently at 187, and we've got analyst price targets, two analyst price targets, and the average is 6.25, which is even more, $6.25 and a high of $7.50. So at the 187 at the moment, we've got some work to do to get up to these kind of $6, but it's looking good. It's looking like we're probably up there, and we've got, as I said, two recommendations, and the recommended rating here is a buy. I want to look at the fundamentals quickly. It's got a market cap of 133 million, so it's not the largest company in the world. If we just take a quick look at the financials, I'm not going to dive into the financials in too much detail. I'm just going to take a quick look. We've got a cash position of $9.1 million as last reported here. If we then scroll down to their liabilities, and we've got total liabilities here, we've got 1.6. So their cash position far outweigh their liabilities. They're in a very good position at the moment where they are. They've got a huge runway where if suddenly everything goes absolutely tits up, I think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, tits up, I can say what I want on YouTube. They've got a huge runway. Their cash position far outweighs their total liabilities, which is a great position to be in. And another little thing, actually, in the investors section here, there's been loads of share offerings more recently. So they would have closed all out by now. They will be sitting on a huge amount of money. We've got an offering here. This was December. We've got January. So we've got loads of direct offerings and public offerings that have happened more recently. So the company's going to be sitting on a huge amount of cash. And as I said, an interesting point. I mean, the main thing here, the fact that we've got a cash position of 9.1 million, which as you can see has gone up over the years and just come back down a little bit, maybe due to everything going on at the moment. Huge amount of assets, and then total liabilities at 1.6. So we've got great little balance sheet there. They've got a good runway. I think they've really got a good future ahead of them and lots of growth potential, because they are doing some great things in some two big illness medical sectors, i.e. cancer and breast cancer, and obviously the silent killer that we're all fighting now. Interestingly, if we look at what the price has been at before, it has been up to $4.35. It's now at 187. So we know the company's got the potential to be a $5, a $6.25 stock. And if we look at the last 5 days, we've had quite a bit of a run. It's gone up 50% in the last 5 days. And if we look at the last month, it's gone up 112.5%. So it's on a bit of a tear now. It's on a bit of a run. It's doing some great things, and a good company I would suggest probably to be getting into. That's absolutely not my advice, and certainly not financial advice, but it's certainly worth looking into, and certainly worth your time and your homework and your research to work out whether it's a good company to get into. I think it's an interesting one. So take a little look, and I'll see you guys out, let you know whether I'm buying or not. So the question is, am I going to be buying into Atossa Therapeutics? At the moment, no, probably not. And for the simple reason that it. I've got a bit of coverage in the genomics biopharmaceutical space at the moment. It's not jumping out at me completely just yet. I think it's going to do well, and if we look at the price predictions from the analysts, it's of course going to do well, huge upside. But I'm not going to be jumping in it just yet. I think maybe next month, if it remains around the same level and we see some good news, at that point maybe I will jump in, but certainly not going to be buying into it right this second. I haven't fully decided. It'll be a week or so probably until I've got the funds available actually to be buying into my high risk, my high growth perspective portfolio. So I don't know what I'm going to be putting into that yet, but I'm sure I'll be getting a penny stock or two in there. So it'll be interesting to see in the next week or so what penny stocks, what industry suddenly becomes incredibly popular and is trending on socials and in the marketplace, and we'll see what kind of might be a good buy. There's always going to be opportunity. I'm not going to just jump into this one because I think we've got some great upside, which I'm sure we do. There'll be others that I'll be able to get into later down the line when I've got the funds available, and I'll do the homework then. So that's it for today's video, guys. As I said, if you really liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Pop a comment down below what you're getting into, what penny stocks are tickling your fancy, and what you might be getting into yourself. Need to be getting back to doing some more dividend investing videos, so I'll try and get back to doing some of those, but these penny stocks are just a little bit too exciting for me at the moment. So but that's it for today, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later.